Welcome back to the Bear Den. We are going to be wrapping up Manhattan here today, hopefully moving into some Tampa. Let's start off just going through doing a pogo, get my manual skills up. Look how easy it is to cheese this game. Sweet kickflip out, get that +3 on my manual. Probably should check my stats at one point, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty confident. I think for most of the missions left in Manhattan, New York, Manhattan, is like follow missions and learning moves such as learning no complies, bonelesses, find the skaters and everything. And then we'll move into probably one of my least favorite maps, which was Tampa, because I think that, if I recall correctly, it had one of the most just like do this, do this, do this timer missions, and it just really detracted. But going back in and playing this game, like I keep saying, it always just felt good, and then realizing the bad parts of it. You're gonna watch me struggle do a boneless over a simple wire thing because I just could never get the distance correct. But one thing that was really good about these games is that you could hit start and then retry last goal, and it would take you to where you were in a certain part of a mission without having to do the full mission over again. And I think that's very beneficial, because if not, I would have had to do the no complies and everything else that I've completed beforehand. I think after this I want to move into some of the other, not simulator games, because these are not simulator games, arcade games, different genres. I remember loving like NFL Street, NBA Street, NBA Street Volume 2. NBA Street was like a, what is it, NBA Jam style game. So it didn't have really a story. You chose your team, you chose your players, you could do special moves and everything and hit cool shots, but you really didn't progress in terms of the game. It was just more of an arcade, put your quarters in, play with a few friends. You can't really have a single player experience unless you want to play against computers. And then you see a sweet line right there. Just had to take a break to appreciate the majestic line that I was building. I'm just trying to get back into control. Sometimes I take a break in between filming these sessions, so you'll see me just go around trying to get back into the feeling of like, okay, gotta do this, getting this down. Oh, and like I said, this is just another one of those missions where you just have to find the people with the skulls over their head and pass by them, and you will get the loot back that they had stolen. As of this date being released, we also got a new skateboarding game in terms of Skater XL. Had its full release on July 28th, and I've been actually picking up and playing that. You may actually see a clip montage coming for that soon, because we are moving away from arcade skateboarding games to what people are calling simulation skateboarding games. It's still very, I would say, arcadey in terms of the sense of like the gravity is very floaty. You can still do tricks that like even professional skaters have a hard time doing, and you can just bust them out pretty easily. But the left and right foot control using the left and right sticks, have to say it feels good. It feels responsive. It's not like in skate where you were just flicking the right stick, just left right, up down, quarter circles, to have a plethora of moves. I really do like how you have control over the nollie function, the ollie function, being able to do tricks and switch, then actually being able to guide your board to lock into a grind. And one of the things that I'm actually really appreciating is power slides. And it's so funny because like I don't think in this game you can power slide, but the amount of different power slides that you can do, so if you're like it's a good speed killer, but it also adds some flair to a line, and I think that's really important into games, is just being able to always make it look good and continue on without having to just like hold B and put your foot down and skid into a stop. But with this transition of like
Peralta says we can always all
arcade
hit the bus
game
and hit the
versus
road.
simulator,
Tampa AM.
I'm gonna say arcade versus simulator, not arcade game. You wouldn't find Tony Hawk in an arcade with the buttons and the joystick, but in the sense of the play of the game, it it's nice. It's nice to be able to create like clips and everything and have that feel of a solid game. You saw right there, I skipped the cutscene. So we were being arrested going into Tampa. You just saw me on the ground, which I was just like, all right, skip through. So if you're wondering why, it just had a jump cut to a save menu there. Also, Tampa had a mission where you have to grind.
Wanna give me a
Oh yeah, it's right here. You grind a cheater's car, and 5 times, and this I think was probably one of the most pointless missions in any game I've ever played. It's it feels like they just threw it in here to be edgy, and I know that's weird to say edgy in the early 2000s, but it's really just this. It's just turn around, grind, turn around, grind, turn around, grind, and then the final thing you do is a kick flip over and on, as I mess that up. But I also the gap name of Bart's sausage melt.
Can you deliver this dry cleaning for me?
Not even. It's just like okay, and then this is where it gets a little confusing to me. You had to deliver dry cleaning for this final part, but you can't bail at any point of this, and it just was like this mission in itself just didn't seem to make sense. Grind a car 3 times, do a kick flip over a vert gap, and then do a delivery mission. It this game, love it to death. Sometimes blows my mind about how weird it got. And then we're just gonna keep going over, hit some more little ramps, some sweet grinds. And this is the point where I mess up this mission because I hit the wall. And let's see if I can clear this gap. Nope. And there you see that fast little feature of hitting retry last goal every single time. Now, I do plan on trying to play Tony Hawk's Underground Skater 2, just because I want to go back and play through most of the games. If there is any recommendations of an old PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, GameCube, that era game that you'd like to see me play, like comment down below. Just throw out any game that you could remember. I have a few games in the line, like Kingdom Hearts, but that will take forever. And I remember it being fun, but really button mashy for me. I know there is strategy and everything to it, but I was not good at it. Like I said earlier, I'm going to play a lot of the arcade sports games because those were always fun to me. Just being able to do the sweet combos and then doing a dunk and getting like 50,000 points. Learning another special trick, the double skateboard manual. That was pretty easy. I also love that you could just hop into a freestyle skateboarding. So, like doing pogos and stuff like that. That was Rodney Mullen, who started off doing tricks like that and then moving into the skate scene. Really appreciate that him as like a founder of like freestyle skating and what most modern skating is, and then bail the manual instantly. Also didn't get enough credit in terms of stat lines for like the original games. He was like put in as like one of the worst skaters, and I think like the unlockable character Spider-Man had better skill stats than Rodney Mullen, and it's just like, I think they had to lower his skill level just because he was so godly that you have to do that so that he looks like a normal skater just like everybody else. That really sucked right there because I ollied out a second too early before the final cone set, and it didn't give me the win there. Also, almost got frustrated enough to quit out of the game and try over, but I'm gonna push through it. I would also, something that I love and want to see more of is speed runs. I know people who speed run like the original Tony Hawks and like the newer Tony Hawks and do like crazy jobs on it. I would love to try to attempt things like that. I just know that I get way too frustrated, and I don't have the muscle memory to be able to nail like how they do it, because they have to. Easter egg. See a guy with a goat behind a strip club. Have to point that out every single time that happens. I remember that being one of the Easter eggs you could find on game FAQs. Get all your sweet cheats and everything from there. But yeah, speedrunning, because like I think in terms of video games, in terms of any video game, people who can quote unquote break games or just finally master a game so well that they just can like burn through it is pretty impressive for me. Pretty impressive to me, not for me. And I just always have to like throw that out there. Like, I think that needs to be a bigger scene in the video game community. I know we have like SGDQ and ESEA, which I think it's European Speedrunners Association. I may be fucking that up. But if we could get more speedrunners, like I think it would be cool to actually have a speedrunning competition where it's just not one game. It's like you get multiple people who are good at multiple different speedruns and have them like teach each other and then create like teams so that it's just would be a full run of like, you start off with like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and then you can move to like a Crash Bandicoot, or you can move to a Dark Souls, but it would be like a team like 4 or 5 speedrunners in all these different games, and then you could have like a wild card speedrunning game, something that like you could easily pick up and get into, and like you don't need to like take hours to master. I'm not sure if a game like that exists, but I think that would be a cool structure to have. Just because it would blow my mind. I think it would be nice to add a competitive aspect, because most everything always has a competitive aspect, as you see me failing to just grind out one sign there. And I think it would give an opportunity for communities and everything of speedrunning to be more recognized. And esports right now is blowing up as a bigger thing, with money being pumped into a lot of different areas, such as League of Legends, Call of Duty League. All of those have major sponsors, and like even ESPN is picking up some of them. NBA has its own league and everything. So I feel not only would you bring attention to older games, you would be able to create a niche market that would benefit all, and create another form of esports that I don't think has been tapped into as of recent, and would be something that I think a lot of people would appreciate and have their mind blown. I know, like, the first time I saw a Dark Souls 3 speedrun and watching it get beat in like an hour and a half was something that I was just like, that's impossible. Like, this game took me forever. And with that mission, as I mess up and almost at the end, with that, we'll wrap up for the day, save, and get into the next time of more Tampa projects. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, Have a good one.